Hello and welcome to the Dilemma Den. This is Suzy Jacobs and it is wonderful to be here on this Thursday. I hope you are staying safe and sane in these slightly chaotic times. I hope that we have some fun this afternoon. I certainly plan to, as we break with conventional wisdom to liberate this big, beautiful brain of yours and mine so that we can get on with making better stuff possible in the world. And bring some joy and fun into life. So before we get started, I just wanted to talk about the squiz. A very good friend of mine introduced me to this Aussie news source, which I'm such a fan of. And I love today's story, and I'm just going to give it to you. Let me just have a quick look. It's about the UK Defence Minister who accidentally left his top secret documents at the bus stop. UK Defence Minister leaves top secret documents at the bus stop. And now he's just been appointed the ambassador to NATO. Go figure. If you are new to the Dilemma Den, welcome. We solve those pesky and persistent problems like the one we have today, which is why do we say yes when we want to say no? And I really want to thank Sam for this week's dilemma. And if you're out there, Sam, give me a hello, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you are there. And anyone else, I'd love you to say hi. Okay, let me tell you what Sam is going through. She says, "Hi, Suzy. I struggle saying no, especially to my boss. I'm old enough to know better, and I do know better, but I say yes when I want to say no and then feel resentful and overwhelmed. Worse still, my work deteriorates because I don't have enough time, and then I give myself a hard time for doing substandard work. I can't believe I'm still dealing with this stuff." I hear you, Sam, and I'm sure our listeners do. So if you're out there, can you give Sam a thumbs up so she knows that she's amongst friends? Give me a thumbs up if you're out there. Nope. Okay. Anyway, I hear you, Sam. So let me just be clear. My answers will always break with conventional wisdom. It should probably come with a warning. So here goes. Sam, you don't say yes because you're a people pleaser. Nor is it because you're a very giving person who likes to help people. The first reason, that being a people pleaser, is just a label, and it's not a very helpful one. And the latter reason is all about making you feel better about yourself. It's nice, but again, it's not helpful because neither of those things solve the problem. Make sense? So let's break free from the constraints of that kind of tired old thinking and feel confident that you can always go back to it if you don't like what I have to say. It's there, you know it well. You can go back to that kind of thinking at the end of this. So, but here's your chance to really solve the dilemma once and for all. So give me a thumbs up if you're out there and you're looking for, like, just getting past this whole why we say yes when we want to say no once and for all. Give me a thumbs up. I'd love to know that you're out there. Write me a comment and just give me a hell yeah. Okay, so let's get it on. Let's go. The reason you say yes when you want to say no. In the nanosecond, I wrote some notes, I'm not going to read here. In the nanosecond before you say yes instead of no, your brain is weighing up 7 factors and makes a split-second decision, not based on what's in front of you, but using evidence from the past, right? So there you are. You're about to say no and you say yes. Why? Because in the background, your brain is computing and it is making this decision without you knowing it, and it's using evidence from the past rather than what's happening in the present. Makes sense? Okay. So if you have a habit of saying yes instead of no, your lazy old brain takes the road of least resistance, which is why you keep saying yes. habit, right? It's all happening here in the background. It's got nothing to do with you being a people pleaser or a really nice person, which I'm sure you are. It's got to do with the way that you have trained your brain, right? So is this making sense? Give me a thumbs up if this is making sense. So you're in that split second, you're about to say no, you say yes, and what's happening in the background without you knowing it is that your brain is factoring in 7 different elements, making sense of it, all of which is from evidence of your past, not what's happening in front of you. And on that basis, it is taking that evidence of you saying yes instead of no and going with that because you've trained your brain that way. Okay, so if that's the case, what we need to do is train your brain to think differently. And I'm going to give you 3 actions that you can practice this week to start training your brain differently. So grab pen and paper, keyboard, whatever it is you need. While you do that, I'm going to have a quick look here. Any comments? No, we've got a few thumbs up, but no comments. I'm going to keep going. Please post your questions. I'm here to break that conventional thinking, get you thinking differently, seeing the world differently. Okay, so here are your 3 actions I want you to be practicing during the week. So the first thing you want to do is buy yourself time. So after we finish here today, I want you to work on 3 to 5 phrases which you're going to practice in the car, in the mirror, with your kids, so that when that yes/no question comes, you're prepared with a few responses, right? And your responses could sound something like this. Can I get back to you about that by the end of the day? Or, let me check my current commitments before giving you an accurate answer. Get the gist? Or, I don't have capacity, but let me check and get back to you. That's kind of letting them know up front, look, I don't have capacity, but I'm not a no altogether. I'm going to go back and check. Right? So you have these phrases prepared because you know that at some point you're going to be asked to do something and you want to start practicing your no instead of your yes. So that's the first step. Then, second step is you slow down. So now that you know your brain is under pressure to make a snap decision, slowing down makes sense, right? If you now know that your brain is working away in the background, giving yourself 3 to 5 seconds to take a breath, relax your shoulders so that you can trick your brain from react to being able to make a conscious response. You buy yourself time. You slow down, Having bought yourself time, you now deliver one of those phrases. So phrases first, have them prepared, up your sleeve, in your back pocket, practice them. In the moment, you slow down. Give yourself 3 to 5 seconds, relax your shoulders, take a few deeper breaths so you can deliver your phrases. Now, afterwards, third step is you make time to reflect on whether you want to say yes or no. And this is important. So once you've got away from the fight-flight scenario, you've given a response, you've bought yourself some time, you might want to think about whether you want to say yes or no. Is it of interest? Do you actually have time? Do you have the expertise? Is someone else better suited to the task? Does it align with your goals? Like, spend some quiet time finding out what's true for you. Then, last step, just to wrap it up, right, to liberate your brain to get on and do the stuff that matters most to you, is you resolve it. So you make sure you let them know either way. Close the loop, right? Now, the chances are you're still going to feel slightly anxious about saying no. So take the easy route to start with. Send the email, send the text message. You'll build the muscle and you'll get really competent at just picking up the phone or talking to somebody face-to-face, if that ever happens again, face-to-face on Zoom, and giving them the answer, all right, once you've done some work in the background. Is that all making sense? And I'm going to do a quick check and see if have we got any questions? Okay, so they're your first steps. You you buy yourself time, slow down, right? Then you make time to think about it. Then you resolve it by closing the loop. Now, there are a couple of things that you need to keep in mind. Sam talking to you, but I'm talking to anyone else who is listening. It will feel awkward to begin with. You've not done it before, right? It will feel awkward. Your job is to remind yourself you've trained your brain one way, and now you're choosing to train it a different way. That's your job, to lead your brain rather than your brain leading you, okay? The second thing for you to remember is life isn't a dress rehearsal. I get that. But if you want to do things differently, it does take practice. Life is not about the result. It's actually about the process and the practice. So, no, it's not a dress rehearsal. But while you're training your brain to think differently, think of it as being in practice, being in process. So I'm going to have a quick check. Is this making sense? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're out there. Ask any questions. You can always post afterwards and I'll get back and check in with you. So that's the Dilemma Den for this week. And I'm Suzy Jacobs, and you can email me your dilemmas with absolute confidence that we don't share any data and we change all names to protect your privacy. Please post your questions and comments below, where you'll find where I'll also post email information, links to programs and resources, all with the aim of liberating your big, beautiful brain so that you can get on and work on what matters most to you in your gorgeous, sweet, wonderful life. I look forward to seeing you back here this time next week for another episode of the Dilemma Den. Thank you.